Good evening. My name is Pavlo Ardanov. I am co-founder of the NGO Permaculture in Ukraine, a researcher at the Leibniz Center for Agricultural and Landscape Research, and lecturer at the Open International University of Human Development, Ukraine. Let me present our recently developed polyculture design tool for vegetables and spice and aromatic crops, and the approach that we are developing for design of crop polycultures. Now in 2023, when I am delivering this presentation, most permaculturists know about Ukraine because of the war, and many of you are hosting displaced people from my country. We are very grateful for your support. But I want to contribute to creating more balanced picture of Ukrainian permaculture, as we do develop innovations and actively share them internationally. Recently, we produced a guidebook on the warm rhizome beds in English. In this technology, very high crop productivity is achieved because of combination of three different functional zones. This approach helps you to boost within a single bed both bacterial and fungal beneficial microbiomes, support mycorrhiza, and produce organic residues for soil biota. Because of substantial increase of soil fertility, this technology is perfectly suitable for experimenting with densely planted diverse polycultures. The other innovation, Ukrainian Chinampa, combines Chinampa with the warm rhizome bed technology. With this technology, you can transform the site having high water table into biodiversity hotspot on your plot, but also keep high productivity of this site. In my international research project, we developed polyculture decision support tool for farmers. As you can see from this graph representing survey results of German farmers practicing community-supported agriculture, farmers are interested to improve most of possible functions in their polycultures. And this is understandable intention of almost any agroecological farmers. I presume that they would be also interested to improve nursing or protection from adverse environmental conditions in polycultures, if they all knew what it is and that this is possible with polycultures. With their current practices, they manage to reach most of desired functions, however, not always desired level of these functions or multifunctionality. Computer program or smartphone app would not only help them to visualize wide range of possible functions in polycultures, but also to optimize multifunctionality using computational algorithms. There are two major sources of information for such algorithms: rule-based or matching of plant traits. These are variants of shoot or root structures and plant growth characteristics that are often cited in various permaculture books or presented in databases such as Plant for a Future or Natural Capital Plant Database. Another source is evidence-based information or which particular crops grows well together. This can be collected from survey of farmers and agriculture experts. Our tool combines both, as well as take information from both academic and professional knowledge streams. With this approach, we can collect significant number of data to support growers' decisions. For example, we included almost 2,500 trait records from the academic database for 76 vegetable and leafy green species commonly cultivated by German CSA farmers, and also data on almost 550 spice and aromatic crops that can be potentially used in vegetable polycultures, mainly to control over 170 of specific pests and diseases and over 70 weeds. Briefly, users of our tool first specify which main crops they want to grow. Then user picks desired companions of these crops. We collected them from both databases and the survey. And the algorithm groups crops with similar soil, microclimate requirements and tolerances into management zones. And user adds spice and aromatic crops for controlling pests of concerns, and finally optimizes functional complementarity so that crops in each polyculture can utilize most of possible resources and niches. The user also optimizes ecological facilitation, for example, by combining mycorrhizal crops together. To further optimize your polyculture, you can read possible crop uses and keep the most multifunctional crops. So far, our tool is organized as 10 interlinked Google spreadsheets. I will show you some screenshots for general impression. The simplest way to use our tool is to open only the first spreadsheet and review possible companions and incompatible crops for your crops of interest. Here you can see how the crops and companions that you select are automatically organized into management zone. We can reduce the number of miscellaneous reports by picking different predicting traits for the functions of interest from different sources and mathematically identify the highest likelihood. But the user can also manually correct results, which is a good exercise to learn more about your crops. Here you can see an example how predicting traits for pest susceptibility are pulled from different databases. And this is the most interesting final step of increasing complementarity and facilitation in your polycultures. This is a demanding computational process, and you can do it stepwise, starting from the section of primary interest, either plant architecture and growth cycle, or nutrient cycling, or pest and disease resistance and pollination, or companion cropping and integration with livestock. You can see how many crops do you have for each trait value and make this distribution more balanced by adding additional companions which are marked green in the sheet. We continue our research on designing crop polycultures, and ideally we want to create a research group. Therefore, I list our further directions to find possible collaborators. These include applying computational methods to define crop pairs with potentially high level of positive interactions, developing web-based, more user-friendly tool interface where we can integrate more useful external modules and models, and developing a serious game based on our tool for students and farmers. Here you can see a good example of a serious game called Interplay for playing with different rotation and intercropping options for cereal and legume crops. We are applying participatory validation of designed polycultures with farmers and growers, as participatory method allows testing a bigger range of crop combinations and their performance in different conditions. First, we will discuss with farmers and experts feasibility of crop pairs identified with computational methods using a serious game. Then farmers are expected to run greenhouse or field trials to identify high-yielding crop pairs. In order to understand mechanisms and optimize crop interactions, we will measure varied range of functional indicators. And we design these measurements in a way that they can be performed by farmers using simple tools such as sensors, kits, and smartphone apps. Best performing crop pairs can be combined to design and test more complex polyculture systems. But we expect that in most crop pairs we will observe both positive and negative crop interactions, which we will try to optimize by changing crop arrangements in space and time. The easiest way might be to separate crop growth in time, and there is a range of possibilities ranging from planting the second crop into mature stand of the first crop to growing two crops in one season and crop rotation. And both crop competition can be reduced and management improved if crops are not randomly mixed but arranged in units of varying size. You can find more information about our polyculture project and educational materials on our website. I also invite you to follow our project on Facebook. Thank you very much for your attention.